Hi guys, so welcome to my second recap of Murder in the First. Hopefully this one is better um than my first one. I took notes this time. I didn't take notes last time just because it was the first episode and I didn't know how I was gonna like it. But so far I really do like it. So here we go. We start off this episode with them going between the autopsy of the murdered flight attendant and Taye Diggs's wife's, or his character's wife's, funeral. Let me see here. And we learned that the flight attendant was 2 months pregnant, which makes it her homicide a double homicide. And then it goes to a press meeting with the DA who guarantees the city is safe, but the reporter points out that she still has 46 cases that are unsolved. I don't know out of how many, but and then we see a public defender who is sent to one of the suspects who has already been arrested. I think not for the flight attendant's murder, but for this other person's murder. And the public defender basically says if you do this, then you only get 6 years. And with prison overcrowding, it will be even shorter. Whereas if you don't do anything today, by the end of today, then you'll go to trial and you won't ever win it. And so the suspect decides to go with the public defender's idea. Sorry. But then we see his hearing, I guess, and he says something, and then that makes it go into a trial. And then we see Eric Blund, who's, like I said in my last video, he's basically the Mark Zuckerberg, and this city also takes place in San Francisco, or the show takes place in San Francisco, but we see him figuring out with his business partner or whoever his latest invention at their office, which I'm not quite sure what his latest invention is supposed to be, so hopefully they elaborate more on that in future episodes. And then he has a press meeting as well for this, and they don't really show very much of that. And then we see Terry, who's Taye Diggs's character, and his partner investigating the flight attendant's ex-husband, and they find and arrest him and then take him back to the precinct for interrogation. And he denies with every fiber of his being that he's innocent. And, well, first it's just Taye Diggs's character, Terry, interrogating the ex-husband. But then Terry leaves and sends in the female cop, I forgot her name, and she tricks the ex-husband into drinking from a water bottle so they can get his DNA to match it to the murder weapon or whatever. And then the female cop has a date with some guy named Stuart, which I don't think it went very well by the looks of it. And then we see Terry in his room at night, and his deceased wife's sister had flown in for the funeral, and she comes in, and says, "Hey, my flight's been delayed for at least an hour, and I can't be alone right now." And she takes off her bathrobe and basically wants to, with Taye Diggs. But he doesn't take the bait, and he just picks up the bathrobe, puts it back on her, and then they have a hugging, crying fest. Then Terry and his partner talk to Eric Blunt's pilot about what happened, a few hours before the murder on the plane and stuff. And I guess he's sick. And I guess he's a suspect also. But he's sick with the flu or cold or something right now. So he leaves the room, and then his wife, he calls for his wife or something, and the cops say, "Oh, go ahead, we'll let ourselves out." And they take the pilot's cleanings from the trash can to get his DNA. And then Eric goes with one of his lawyers to meet a defense lawyer, I guess, but Eric really doesn't think he needs one because he claims he's innocent. And the defense lawyer points out, "Oh, you've said that 3 times already in this amount of time, and because of your stature and wealth, the innocent until proven guilty doesn't really apply to you because the cops won't see it like that." And so then he goes voluntarily to the police station with his lawyer, not the defense lawyer, but his actual lawyer. And I forgot to say in my last video that Eric's biological father was murdered the same night as the flight attendant. And so everybody just really thinks that's a coincidence. And then Mulligan, who is the blonde cop, she goes to drinks with Eric too, because he called her and she said, "Oh yeah, I can do that." And then at the end of the date, and the only reason she went was to get his DNA. And so at the end of the date, in order to get his DNA, she basically kissed him and then spit her saliva into like a little tube thing. And that's where we left off. And I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Bye.